Alecentuals. That guy cracks me up, man. This is Alecentual. How bad must your life be when you idolize someone as stupid as Alecentual? Now, if you see, you're not Alec. If you are actually Alecentual, if that's actually you, no, I feel sorry for you. But somehow I don't think that McGiggles that you're the real Alecentual. Let me tell you about the Valley of the Real. You know why that macro is screwing up? Because I actually have not tamed my pet with growl. Growl rank 3. Let's see how well this pet's growl actually works. Store hype, man. The hype is real, man. Big damage. Big damage.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Guess I can't kiss my ass goodbye. Let me take a look. Okay, that's right, I respect. What is my pet? My pet is level 29, so I'm level 47, so my pet still has a ways to go. Hey, Milan. Alec and Jewel. Just that guy cracks me up, dude. He totally cracks me up. Where's my pet at? Like, what is my pet even doing? Like, what are you doing, dude? My pet's trying to get me killed. I don't know what my pet was doing. I clearly had this guy targeted, the one I told him to attack, but he decided to go attack someone completely different. It's like, what are you doing, man? That's not the first time that's happened in this building either. Yes. Is Epoch going to be a reality, Looney? What's up? Will there be a tiny mini hawk in Project Epoch? Oh yeah, these are the greatest bags of all time, and yet look, and yet they're still full. The biggest freaking bags known to man, and yet they're still full. That's the funny part. A server with that Alex is a dead server. He definitely will bring some people. We'll definitely get some high quality people in a server if Alex Central's in it. You know, with his unbelievable skill, his wit, his charm, his charisma, his 5'3" frame. It brings it all. It brings it all. The mini Hulk. Getting there. Where's my gaming sleeve? You know what? One thing, since I moved into my new house, I don't have the gaming sleeve. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to go digging through my boxes. We need the gaming sleeve, man. Hey, my pet's doing 5.5% of my overall damage. Oh, he's starting to improve. And I seriously need to clean out my bags. Yeah, I think I don't really like. I mean, I think if you use Bagnon, I think Bagnon has a sword, doesn't? I just don't. I don't like having my bag as one whole bag. Plus, I have kind of a UI skin that I like to see the skin on my bags. But yeah, Bagnon probably has a sword, so I'm sure there's probably a bag add-on you can find. Oh, yeah, level 3630. Here we go. 36 elite. When he's a caster. No updates on Epoch since the last update. So we're just chilling in some Turtle WoW. I'm hoping that Epoch. Actually, I would love to not see Project Epoch come up for like. I would love to not see it come up for a couple weeks, just so I could get into Ambershire and play some Ambershire before they launched Epoch. Because if they launch Epoch, like let's say like Saturday, it's going to be kind of annoying because Ambershire launches on Sunday. I didn't really want to get stuck playing 2 servers. No rest for the weary, though, huh? You think it'll be Saturday? You think it's not Saturday? Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they'll do a stress test tomorrow or today. I think today they might do a stress test. Today or Friday. I don't think they would launch Saturday or Sunday. I would hope that they would wait maybe till next week. I'm probably in the minority though. There's probably a lot of people that want them to release as soon as possible. Here, let's recoup some Turtle Wow tokens. Let us recoup some Turtle Wow tokens.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's see. Ooh, here we go. 600 tokens have been refunded to you. 600 tokens. That's what I like to see. Alright, so we're back to 3,772 tokens. You can never have too many. Look at the HD textures. They do look better.
How are ya?
Okay, so let's go ahead and buy another bag slot. We're going to clear up this character's inventory a little bit. We're going to go to gameplay and we're going to buy a bag. And 28 slot, 36 slot, 36 slot.
You got my attention. Watch your back. Hi.
Yeah, now you're talking. Looks a little better. Yeah, I think they would try to get. I don't think 24 hours is necessary, but I do because there's the amount of people that are going to get this. I don't think they're going to have an issue getting people in the server. So I think 12 hours. I think I would feel fairly comfortable doing like. I mean, if anything, Project Epoch has shown us it's that you don't really need any kind of a warning for the stress test. I mean, they could announce it right now and say it was going to happen in 2 hours, and they'd probably still get like 10,000 people. But yeah, I mean, optimally, I agree with you 100%. They definitely would like to give people, I would say, at least 12 hours. I would say 12 hours, and currently it's 1:29 a.m. So let's say they wanted to do a stress test tonight. It's like 9 p.m. or something. I mean, I think they could announce it any time now up until noon today. So anytime within the next 10 hours, I think they could easily announce the stress test. Just say, hey, tonight at 9 p.m. or something, or 10 p.m. My time. Right now at my time it's 1:30 a.m. So let's say in 12 hours from now, which would be 1:30 p.m. Thursday, they could say, hey, we're gonna have a stress test at like 9 o'clock, which would only get a 7.5 hour notice. But I think that would be plenty. I think that would be enough. Like, I just think there's so many people that want to get in there. But I do think you need to give at least like 6-7 hours notice. And they can, it doesn't really matter because if they're ready to do the stress test, they don't really have to give notice because they could be like, it could be like, they could come online right now and say, we're going to do a stress test in an hour because it doesn't really matter. Like, if not enough people show up, they'll just say, well, we'll do another stress test in 10 hours. You know what I mean? But you have to keep in mind that most of these private servers are European servers. So I believe Ascension is in France, someone said. But I'm guessing that Dutch, just by his name. I mean, we're guessing that he's in Europe, you know what I mean? You're 6 hours ahead of me. But I mean, he's in Europe, so most likely if they were going to do a stress test, it would probably be more aligned with time for the Europeans. Right. So what I'm thinking is currently in London it's 6:32 a.m. Right? So London's about 5 hours ahead of me. So if they're going to, that's why we see a lot of announcements on Project Epoch. A lot of them we saw around 4 a.m. because that's around 9 a.m. Europe time, Europe time. So if we do get an announcement around stress test, it'd probably come out sometime between, within the next, I'd say within the next 8 hours. Does he? Oh, he does. It does the update 1 a.m. Well, that would have been 5 hours ago, right? 1 a.m. would have put it more around 9. What, like 8 p.m. my time or something? Hey Naga, what's up? How's it going? I need to upgrade my pet's claw, but I'm sure one of these cats has a much higher rank claw than my bald eagle does, but I guess it's more important than we get my bald eagle to level 47, since she's only level 30.
Need assistance? Off and away.
Yeah, I do too. I'm good. Just chilling. Playing a little Turtle WoW. Just waiting for Project Epoch to come out and for Ambershire to launch. We'll see if the guild name was decided on. I did put a poll for the guild name we're gonna roll in on Ambershire. So I thought I put a poll, and pretty sure I put the poll in Turtle WoW chat. Let us see. Maybe there's just been too many conversations. Guess I should have pinned it, huh? Alright. Only 10 votes. Oh my god, the old guard is winning. Can I trump the vote? See, this is what's funny. You put a vote up. What's up, Total? You put a vote up of something in your Discord, but it's not going the way you want. So I can just, since I run the Discord, since I run the guild, do you think I can just override the vote? Currently, they want the old guard. I actually wanted to call the guild Friends of the Shire. So It's got to be the old guard. I wanted to call it Friends of the Shire. I like that name. Friends of the Shire. Because it's Ambershire, man. But they want the old guard. Looks like it's going to be the old guard. Oh, I'm kind of bummed about that, to be honest. I shouldn't have put it to a vote. I should have just used my supreme authority to say this is what it is. Charlize Theron wins. Someone in my guild created. Check out. Someone in my Discord. Check out this character they created. I don't know if it was in the chat. Created a gnome rogue called Nicki Nomaj. Instead of Nicki Minaj, it's Nicki Nomaj. I thought that was pretty funny. Actually, I haven't seen the movie. I've not seen the movie The Old Guard. Isn't that is that Walter Matthau? Isn't that's the comedy, right? Oh no, that's the one with. Oh, wasn't there another movie before that one? I've actually seen this movie with Charlize Theron. I actually saw this movie. It was decent. It was okay. I'm thinking, what's the movie with Walter Matthau? The Old. Oh, there's the odd grumpy old men. That's what I was thinking of. Grumpy old men. Maybe we should have called the guild that grumpy old men. My names are usually more fantasy. I like fantasy, you know. I like a little bit of RP to it, so I usually don't go with names that are silly. I usually go with names that just feel something like fantasy, or maybe try to elicit a little bit of a feeling of immersion. I thought like Friends of the Shire was cool because the guild name is Ambershire and we're all friends, so I just thought that was kind of a nice name. But I mean, the Old Guard also has. You gotta realize the Old Guard actually has some significances as well. The reason I put that name in the list is because we're old. I mean, I'm old. I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore, right? And some of the people in my Discord that want to play in this guild, they're pretty old. They're in their 30s and 40s. You know what I mean? They're not like teenagers anymore. I am older than time itself, older than time immemorial. I was born when I was born when the dinosaurs still roamed the earth. That's the Alliance Guild. I pretty much only play Alliance in vanilla. When it comes to vanilla WoW, I pretty much always just play Night Elves. I like Night Elves. Well, they really work for the hunters I usually play, so. I think we've got here. Let's see. I'll show you a picture of me, and that will show you how old I am. All right, check this out. You want to see? Let's see. This is me. You can see I'm old. That's me. So you can see I'm an old fart. And that wasn't a selfie. That was a lonely. See, you don't take selfies, right? You take lonelies. Because you're by yourself. You know what I mean? We don't call it taking a selfie. We call it taking a lonely. Because you can't even find someone to take a picture with. My wife likes to say I'm a big kid, so I'm 24 at heart, right? Yeah, I get that all the time. I mean, I get that all the time. Must be all that beer I drink. No, I don't drink beer anymore. Actually, I quit drinking beer like 3 years ago. Must be all that pizza I eat. Well, I kind of quit eating pizza. I still eat pizza once in a while, but I used to live on. I mean, I used to love pizza, man. I used to eat pizza like at least 2 times a week. Now I eat pizza like once a month. Dude, Biggie, let me tell you, Biggie. I hate to tell you this, but when you're my age, when I wake up in the morning, like usually my back hurts, like my hands hurt because I'm on the computer all the time, right? I play guitar and I'm a programmer and I play video games. So my hands hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurts. I get headaches all the time because of too much screen time on the computer. So my back hurts, my hands hurt, my knees hurt, my head hurts. And my wife makes fun of me because she's 13 years younger than I am, right? My wife is 13 years younger than me. So, and she's just now starting to complain about, having like pain, soreness in her body, from old age. And of course, I tease her about it, like when we first got married, right? We'd been married. I know we've been married for a while now, right? We've been married for like 6 years. But when we first got married, like I would like work all day, and then I would eat dinner, and then I would go take a nap. Like, and she would give me shit for taking a nap. Why are you taking a nap? Why are you taking a nap? It's like 6 p.m. Or 7 p.m. or something. And I'm like, let me tell you, when you get to be like 50 years old and you've worked all day and you just ate dinner, you're gonna want to take a nap. But to her credit, she still doesn't really. Well, she does take naps. She just doesn't call them naps. She says, "I'm gonna watch TV." Like she'll be like, eat dinner, and then she'll sit down and watch TV, and then she'll fall asleep on the couch. But she didn't take a nap. She, you know, inadvertently fell asleep watching TV, right? So that's different. She didn't purposely take a nap. So no new Epoch news since the last stuff they released. Um, no, I'll use my. I mean, I'm assuming, as far as I understand it, they're retaining the characters that people have had so far. I mean, we haven't heard anything about them like wiping the servers or anything. So I'm assuming that the goal is for people to be able to keep the characters they have at this point. So I'm going to just log in with my email address from my Epoch account. So I actually they pulled over my email they pulled over my account apparently from Epoch, but I couldn't log in with my password from Epoch for some reason. So what I did was I basically did a password recovery. Like when I tried to log in with my Epoch account's email address on the Ascension, like the Ascension website, and it didn't work. I just said, hey, let me reset my password. And I just to see if it would recognize my email, and it did. Although that's still not even 100%. Here's the thing, that's not even 100% foolproof because I've played Ascension multiple times in the past. There is a chance that I already had, which could be why my password didn't work, right? It could be that I actually have created multiple Ascension accounts through the years with, because I have an old email address that I stopped using, when Gmail became really popular. I switched from my old Hotmail address to Gmail. So there is a chance that I already had 2 Ascension accounts under my 2 emails that I typically use. So there is a chance that I could log in, that I reset my password on my new email, my Gmail account, and that wasn't actually the Epoch account. It was actually just another Ascension account I'd created under my Gmail name, but it wasn't using the right password when I tried to log in with it. So when I reset that password, there is a chance that when I log in with that it'll still be like a fresh account on Epoch. If that's the case, that will kind of suck because I wanted to play with the character name that I had. So the only way I know how to verify it is the right one is when they update Ascension, right? So if you go to the Ascension logger, right, and we log in, right? Let me. So see, I'm logged in as Shady Hack. So let's log out. How do we log out? Here, log out. Right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to log in with my Gmail account, which is the same email I used on my Project Epoch account, right? Now we're going to log into Project Epoch with that account. Okay, so we logged into Project Epoch, or sort of. We've started it anyway. Now we're going to go to store. Where is it? Database. Here, hold on a second. Now we're going to log out on the website, right? Let's log out on the website. So we're going to log in the website. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to log in with my Gmail account. Now we're going to go to the characters section. And currently, you can see we have Aloon, Rexar, Area 52, Grizzly Hills, Bronzebeard, and Archive. So my guess, now I could be wrong here, but my guess is that eventually Project Epoch will show here in this tab strip, and that way we'll be able to click on Project Epoch, and it'll list our characters that we have, right? So I'm hoping that this gets updated before the servers. I'm hoping that this gets updated when they do the stress test, because if it does get updated when they do the stress test, what I'm probably going to have to do is contact, and if I don't have my characters, I'll probably have to contact the Epoch or the Ascension support and say, hey, my character, and just explain to them what happened. Because I don't know. I mean, I have no idea if I had an old Epoch account, or I'm sorry, an old Ascension account with my Gmail account. I doubt it though, because I'm pretty good at maintaining my passwords. I have a password file, a password manager, and I'm pretty good that whenever I create an account for any kind of a private server, that I create another entry in my password manager. So, and in my password manager, the only account I have is I only have one account in there for Ascension, so I find it kind of highly unlikely that I had an account under my new email address. But it is possible. Anyway, so but yeah, I think I'm gonna guess that this is still the right account. Guess we'll find out. We'll find out when the stress test happens. Oh, I'm sorry. I muted my mic because I was eating something. I'm sorry. Yeah, you just want to go into. You're gonna want to have. Let's see. I use Cool Line, Mixed Scrolling Battle Text, Move Anything, OCB, Omni CC, PF Quest Turtle, Ring Menu, Shago DPS, Shago Plates, and Shago Tweaks. You're gonna need all these add-ons, right? Take a screenshot or something. You're gonna need all these add-ons, and then you're gonna need. In the interface folder here, you can see that I don't just have the add-ons folder. I have all these other folders. These are all just different art replacements, like skins, basically, for the UI. They're BLP files. I can't believe I don't have a BLP file. Can I open this up with code? Yeah, here you go. So you can see, this is like a preview. So like if we went to, let's see, bank frame or something, right? Yeah, so you can get an idea of what these skin overlays look like, right? You know, and to get those, you're just gonna have to download them. Just look for Elfwood by T King. This was created around 2007. So I'll copy this link. So you just have to download this package. And then just extract the files into your WoW interface folder. That's all you got to do for that. It's pretty simple. No, it's very simple. It doesn't get much more simple than that. Yeah, I need to. And I probably will. I also wanted to create a video. I want to create a video on how to set up my UI and also how to bypass, because one of the biggest things, one of the biggest things, hold on a second. One of the biggest things for my look, you know, to make my game look better is obviously reshade, because without reshade the game would look like this, right? The game would look like this. But you can't get reshade to work with TurtleWow unless you bypass the TurtleWow launcher. So to bypass the TurtleWow launcher, you have to jump through some hoops, so to speak, right? See how, take a look at the right side of my screen here. One of the filters I use is called Vignette, and it creates like a frame. So when I flip Vignette, you can see how it like darkens. See how it darkens the screen kind of a lot on the edges. I like this one because it reduces the glare of my monitor. So sometimes when I get headaches from looking at the monitor too much, I like to use Vignette because it kind of just softens the edges of the screen, makes them darker, and it's a little bit less, you know, it doesn't hurt my eyes so much, basically. It also feels more immersive, like it kind of immerses you in the game, because since it kind of darkens the edges, your eyes tend to focus more on the center of the screen. But to bypass the TurtleWow launcher, right, you have to install another add-on called Super API, and outside of that add-on, you also have to download something called Super WoW Launcher, and you've got to put the Super WoW Launcher, the exe, and the DL in the same directory as your TurtleWow executable, and then you have to, if you have a wow.exe, you gotta somehow rename that, and then you have to launch. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I can't remember if you have to. You don't. I think you just copy the turtlewow.exe. I can't remember what the default installation looks like. Let me go to, I think I've got another installation TurtleWow here. Let me take a look. Yeah. So normally, I think TurtleWow, you guys will have to let me know. I think TurtleWow has a automatically, uses the vanilla fixes built into the launcher now to automatically patch the exe. So I'm going to assume that you guys are all running when you run the Turtle Wow launcher and run the game, that it probably still has a wow.exe in the root folder that it launches. So I'm assuming that's how it works. I would know if I reinstalled Turtle Wow, but you just need to make sure that if there is a wow.exe in your root folder, you want to rename that to .back or something, and then you want to actually, I'm not sure if you have to do that. Probably just go to the Super Wow. I can't remember the exact steps on that. If you go to Super Wow, it'll tell you though. They have all these installation instructions. You can pretty much ignore all this. You don't need to care about all this stuff. This is all really not necessary. What did you see? You don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Here we go. Download, and you don't need to worry about tweaks either, because the Turtle Wow launcher already does this for you. Yeah, see here, they're going through the process of doing the tweaks thing, you know, like the vanilla tweaks. But if you guys run the launcher, right? The tweaks thing used to not be built into the Turtle Wow launcher, but now it is. So if you go to the Turtle Wow launcher, you can see that there is this tweak stuff is already installed. And I think if you go to like, I'm trying to see where if it's built into it now or if it's like an additional thing. It's right here. See this vanilla fixes? Let's get away from that sound that he was making. So like the vanilla fixes is basically, I believe, the tweaks. But you're going to want to make sure that in your launcher you have the, I don't know about this Discord overlay. I don't know why I have that checked. But you're definitely going to want one of the vanilla fixes checked. And on the add-ons here, it doesn't really matter what you have for the add-ons. But then the tweaks, so I believe the tweaks is built into the exe. So I don't think you have to do, I don't think you don't need to worry about this, you know, drag the wow.exe on top of tweaks. You don't need to worry about that. Yeah. But honestly, it's a little finicky. There is a little bit of stuff you'll have to kind of play around with, but you're going to have to somehow bypass the Turtle Wow launcher by using Super Wow. If you want to use Reshade, which you're going to want to use Reshade if you want your game to look good. You know what I mean? You're going to want to use it. So if I was going to, you know, if I was going to do a guide, I probably would have to go through a fresh install of Turtle Wow. And I think and honestly, that's the reason why I haven't done a video on it right now, is because I just didn't want to have to go through the process of doing like a clean install. But is there a way we can, is there like a Turtle Wow? Let me see if I can find the download. Let's see downloads. I want to see if I've downloaded Turtle Wow. Turtle Wow. Here. Yeah, so you'd want to go through here next. See, like add remove. So I would have to almost like, you know, like if I really wanted to do a good video on how to set it up the way I would want to set up my Turtle Wow, I would probably have to uninstall Turtle Wow and reinstall it just so I could remember the exact process of getting the Super Wow hook to work. Which honestly I'm too lazy to do. Let's try something here. Let's try something really quick. If we go to the Turtle Wow root folder, let's quit the game. I want to try something. Let's rename all the, we're going to rename this one, and we're going to say Reshade. Actually, yeah. We're going to rename the WoW exe that I'm using to launch with Reshade. We're going to say Reshade, just so we know it's Reshade. And then we're going to rename our Super wow.exe. We're just going to say back. Same thing with our DLL. And then we need to rename our Direct3D version 9 DLL, which is our reshade DLL. Because Turtle WoW won't like this DLL at all. It'll try to replace it. So I'm gonna rename that. And now let's just launch, and let's rename this WoW. This one, I don't know what this one is, but let's rename it. Don't know. Not sure. And now we're just going to run this, the Turtle WoW. I'm curious what this runs. I figured that this runs the launcher. Now it says there's an update available, but I don't know what this update is. Let's. I don't know what this. I'm worried about what this update is. The update info. Okay, see what it's doing. So when I renamed the wow.exe. So now when I run this, it's going to try to create a wow.exe file. So that means for sure that Turtle WoW, when you run Turtle WoW, it is running a wow.exe. So this is the one, not this one, I'm sure it's this one. This is the one that it wants to run, the one that I have been running previously. So let's get rid of this. All right, so now when I run Turtle WoW, it's going to look for this file. Okay. And it's good to go. It's going to play. So we don't need this other one. This two, whatever, so delete this. So basically to install and to get Reshade to work, all you need to do is download these files, right? So let's go back to GitHub. See, where was it? I don't know if I closed it or not. Yeah, maybe I did. Come on, why is it taking so long to open this? Now it's being a butt, not wanting to open this up. Of course, when I'm trying to show you guys something. Come on. You can see a lot of articles of Super WoW issue, blah, blah, blah. Well, for some reason, it looks like either their GitHub's out or my internet went down, and I don't think my internet went down, because you fine folk are still here. My internet is definitely not down. Yeah, it looks like GitHub's down. Isn't that crazy? Like, the entire GitHub site is down. Okay, Turtle WoW, yeah, GitHub's down for some reason. Well, okay, anyways. You're going to want to go to get this Super WoW hook. All it is you just download it, and it's just going to be these two files. You put the DLL.exe in this root folder, right? Your root folder is going to have the turtle-wow.exe. Your root folder is going to have a wow.exe. I don't remember if you need to I don't think you need to create a new wow.exe. I think you're fine with the one you have. I think you just need to put the Super WoW hook DLL.exe in this folder, and then you need to install the add-on, the Super API, right? Make sure you install the Super API add-on, and then all you have to do is, instead of running the Turtle WoW launcher, you're just going to run your wow.exe. And that wow.exe, this super hook is going to basically bypass somehow it bypasses Turtle WoW's like launcher. And then once you get this down in this, and then once you get the exe and the DLL working with Super API, and you launch the wow.exe, and it goes to the login screen, right? Like, even without putting these in, it still looks like it's going to the log. Let's see what happens when we do this. I want to try something. Okay, we still went in, so let's close this down. We backed this up. Let's copy this one. I want to try something. We're going to uncomment this one out. So right now we don't have the DLL and the EXE uncommented, but we do have the reshade modified DLL in our directory here. So let's see if TurtleWow somehow is going to figure this out. I'm going to run the wow.exe. I'm just curious. And see, it looks like it's freaking. Okay, no, there it goes. We know reshade's working as reshade overlay just showed up. So it's weird. It looks like we don't even need at this point, like we don't need the exe and the DLL, and it's still working, right? It's still working, which is kind of interesting. So I'm not quite sure how the wow hook, super wow hook works. Yeah, I would have thought that would somehow not have worked. But you're gonna want to be able to. You are going to want to be able to obviously back these files up. And because you're going to want to run the TurtleWow launcher for any updates you need. Anytime you want to update your TurtleWow client, you've got to run the launcher. But you want to run the launcher in a way that it doesn't fuck with your reshade DLL. So you just have to always rename your reshade DLL, right? And it looks like, and also I think you need to, also it will detect SuperWow hook and the SuperWow. It will detect these files as well if you run the launcher. So make sure you rename these files as well. So rename those two files, rename your directory DLL, then go ahead and just run your normal TurtleWow launcher. Oh, look, it was actually pointing to that file. It was actually pointing to the wow2.exe. That's really weird. Let's get rid of that. And get rid of that. All right, we're going to have to create a shortcut. Wow, I can't believe it was pointing to that weird file. Hmm. But you're going to want to be able to run the launcher so you can do your updates. Now it's going to try to do an update though. I wonder what it's going to try to update. Oh, see, I guarantee you when you try to update, it's going to delete this DLL. Watch this. See, when you run the update, it detected this DLL in there and it recognized that it's a DLL that's not standard with the TurtleWow client, so it's going to try to delete it, right? So there's no way to launch the game going through the launcher if you have a reshade modified DLL, right? And that's, so you have to rename that file. So we can just delete it because we've already got it up here. So we'll just delete this. Go back to the TurtleWow launcher, and now it's just going to run, right? It's going to run the game. But now if we run TurtleWow, of course, our reshade's not working. All right, now we don't have reshade, and our graphics look like shit, right? They don't look as good. But again, like you said, you're going to want to run the TurtleWow launcher to make sure you're up to date, especially before they rolled out like the new server, any new patches, and especially the first week of TurtleWow of Vampireshire, because they're going to release 1.18 on the 15th. So you can bet there's going to be a lot of patches as they find issues. They're going to want to patch the client or patch the server and the client maybe. And the other thing you're going to have to do if you want to set up the UI to look kind of more like my UI is you just need to, here, hold on a second. It's obviously the nameplates. See how my nameplates look? Rock Elemental level 40. You're, we're using Shagu plates to do that, but you're gonna have to modify it, right? You're gonna have to go into Shagu plates, and you're gonna have to go in and change some of these settings to get the nameplates to look like that. That's why I haven't created like a guide for this, because literally it would probably take me like an hour, maybe 2 hours to put the guide together, just because I've got to re-remember all my settings, and the only way to really re-remember all my settings is probably to install another version of Turtle WoW with my add-ons that aren't configured correctly, so I can compare the changes from my old add-ons. I mean, from a vanilla version of those add-ons to what they are on this client here. I've got to know what the differences are, and I don't know what I changed them to. I can show you kind of like where you can change certain things. I know certain things that I've changed. Like I'm always going to change like the text. Like sometimes I change the font that's utilized on the enemy nameplate. I usually change the size of the enemy nameplate. I usually make it a little bit taller, a little bit wider. And then I change the debuffs. So like when you have a debuff, like here, if I hit him with Serpent Sting, you can see the debuffs here that show up on the bottom of the nameplate. I usually change the size because by default, they're much smaller than that. So I increase the size of these debuffs so they're just more visible. I don't know if Shago has profiles or not. Let's take a look. I think it might. I could create a profile, try to save it and export it, but I don't know. So there's load defaults. It does not look like it has. It's got super WoW settings though. Check that out. I'm not exactly sure what these, overwrite border color with combat state. So these are super WoW settings, but apparently super WoW added, I guess, maybe. But yeah, I do not see profiles in here. Other than just load the default settings versus the settings I have currently. So yeah, fortunately, doesn't look like it. And then the other thing I do is I always go in the interface and I turn off show target damage, which is basically the damage numbers that scroll kind of over the enemy himself. Like here, if I turn it back on. So now when I fight this mob, you're going to see the damage numbers scrolling above his head. See all these stupid numbers? I hate that shit, right? It's like big and annoying numbers all over the screen. I hate that. So, because I've already got mixed scrolling battle text that handles that. So I go in the interface and I turn that off. And now notice when I fight, look how much cleaner it's going to look now when I fight somebody. Now we don't see all that crap. And if you want to see the damage I'm doing, you just look to the right side of the screen here. And it's showing my damage, it's showing my pet's damage, right? And on the left side of the screen, over here, it's showing the damage that I'm taking, right? You're at 49, 35, 44, right? And of course all that's customizable. Like if I didn't want to see my pet damage, I could turn that off. We could go into MSBT, we can go to outgoing damage. Actually, I don't know if does it show my pet. Let's see. Yeah, pet, right? Let's say we turn off all our pet stuff, right? Like I don't want to, let's say I just don't care about seeing my pet damage. Now the numbers on the right should look a lot cleaner. Now you can see the only numbers here on the right are the damage I'm doing. My auto attack, my serpent sting, my trap, auto attack, serpent sting, trap, right? Now it's just my damage. And we can do the same thing for the enemy damage. We can filter out anything we want. Unfortunately, this version of MSBT is such an early version. It's not as powerful or as flexible as later versions.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. Oops,
I hit the wrong button. It's not as flexible as later versions of MSBT. Like later versions, I could track like self heals, and unfortunately, that doesn't look like that self healing is tracked. Incoming is the stuff that's coming from the enemy. It's like incoming damage from the enemy. Like But usually incoming also in later versions of Mixed Ground Biotex, there'd be healing in here. It'd be like incoming heals that are coming towards you. But that's not in here, unfortunately, which really kind of sucks, unless it's in the notification area, but it doesn't look like it is. You know. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. That's probably the worst things about Turtle WoW is we're using such an old client that we have much fewer access to really good add-ons. You know, like now we see those stupid numbers every time we log out. The stupid interface shit always turns back on, so you always got to go back in here and turn it back off. But one of my favorite add-ons is weak auras. I mean, there is no, at least I don't think there's any weak auras for 1.12. I don't think I've found any. I think there's some other projects that try to create something similar for weak auras, but there's no really nice weak auras for the 1.12 client. That sucks. The MSBT, like in later versions of WoW, like 3.3.5, MSBT, I can set up all kinds of audio triggers. I can set up tons of triggers. I can track my healing, my enemy's healing. I mean, I can do all kinds of stuff. And I can't do that in this version of WoW, which really sucks. But other than that, other than those two things, and then the other big thing about the 1.12 client is you're really stuck in the the Turtle WoW talent trees for a 1.12 client, which, sad to say, are nowhere near as good as Project Epoch's talent trees. Project Epoch's talent trees are far superior. Because the TBC talent trees they're just better. They work better. There's more options. There's more flexibility. A lot more build flexibility. This is my add-on called Ring Menu, and it gives you like a circle-style Skyrim kind of menu. Wherever your cursor is, when I hit my keybind for Ring Menu, it brings up this Ring Menu, and you can drag stuff. You know, like if I wanted to, I don't know, if I wanted to put my target dummies on here, I could. And then if I wanted to lay a target dummy, I could do it that way, right? If we go back to here, bring it back up, we can put our spectral failing back on here. So that's pretty cool. No, I mean, we can't. There's nothing we can do to update the client. I mean, it's the 1.12 client. Like, when Turtle WoW says they're releasing patch 1.18, all that means is that's their custom content. The client is still a 1.12 client, right? Like they say 1.18, but that's just a Turtle WoW designation for their patch. All that is their patch that basically carries with it all of the custom content that they've created to be released with 1.18, but it's still, the game itself is still a 1.12 client. You know what I mean? The base client itself is... Well, thanks, Aldous. I appreciate that. Yeah, so there's nothing we can do. That's why they're working on Turtle WoW 2. Turtle WoW 2 will have the Unreal Engine 5 wrapped around the Azeroth core, whatever core they're using for their emulation. But I don't know how well that's going to affect the shortcomings of the 1.12 client. Again, the shortcomings of the 1.12 client is you don't, like, most of the add-ons that work for Turtle WoW are basically 1.12 add-ons. If you try to install like 3.3.5 add-ons, like Wrath of the Lich King style era, they're not going to work. Which is sad. But that's just the way it is. The other thing that was really cool that I did earlier today, you know how, like, You know how like when you use a gun, like the gun sound, a lot of people don't like the gun sound in vanilla WoW. I actually installed some tools that allow me to go ahead and modify the MPQ file. They allow me to modify the sound. So if we go into the MPQ editor here, I can actually, because the 1.12 client, one of the benefits, or I don't know if you want to call it a benefit, but the stuff's not encrypted. So if I go into the Turtle WoW folder here and I go to the data section and I go down to these are the patches basically contain most of the game. You know, most of the assets, the sounds, the effects, the animations, a lot of stuff. It's all built into this stuff. So if we go into the sound MPQ and we open it up, we can actually, well, we can't do it because the game's currently, I think, in use. So let's exit the game real quick. You can actually go in and inspect this package, and I can go in, like, let's say I don't like the sound of the guns. What's up, Eric? If I don't like the sound of the gun, I can go in here, and here's the gun, right? Here's what the gun sounds like in vanilla WoW. Okay, so these are all the sound files. I can actually change these. I actually went into here and I created a new folder called Sound Replace. And I created these clips called Gunfire, right? But they're not actually gun sounds. These are actually bow sounds, right? So if I were to go into this gun section and delete Gunfire, right? Let's delete these. We're going to delete these. Let's say delete. And then I'm going to add, and I'm going to go to here. Let's see. And I'm going to go to my sound replace, and I'm going to add these. Right now, I'm going to. I don't have to save. I think I'm okay. We're going to close it and close this. And now we're going to go back to here. And we're going to launch the game. Yeah. Oh, you don't like the bow sounds? See, most people don't like the gun sounds. And now we're going to go to this guy that I made. And listen to the sound, not the sound of him getting the gun, the hammer of the gun click, pulled back, but listen to the sound of the bullet actually traveling to the wolf here. So you can see it sounds like a bow now. See bow? so with the tools here, we can go in and modify any MPQ file. So if we do what we were looking for, and because we have the Super WoW hook and the Super API, we bypass the Turtle WoW launcher. Now, as soon as I don't bypass the Turtle WoW launcher, it's going to detect that the MPQ has been modified, and it's going to load the correct one. The only thing, I probably shouldn't have done that because I'm worried that Turtle WoW might ban my account, like for that. I don't know, right? So I don't know. I think I backed the files up. So let's go back in and put it back to the way it was, just in case Turtlewell might see that as like, I don't know, funny business. So let's go to MPQs open and let's see. Turtlewell, data, sound. We're going to go back to item, weapons, gun, and we're going to delete those files, right? Delete. And then I actually have a backup because I'm smart. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes I'm smart. I created a backup, so let's go back to, let's see, D drive, and we're going to go to sound replace, sound, item, weapons, gun. And now we're going to go here, we're going to add files. And that's where it is, so same thing. Sound, item, weapons, gun. And we want to take these guys. We're going to add those back in. Now Turtle WoW, it won't look different, so it won't be messed up. So hold on a second. Oh, hold on a second. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on. Hold the phone. There we go. It's actually, I found it on the internet. I found this package called, I mean, you just search for on the internet, wtools-tools-master. It's actually a GitHub project, right? And so I've downloaded this whole package that I got from a GitHub project, and it has all of these editors in it. And I haven't explored these, but there's a bunch. I don't even know what Talus is. Talus is a Java-driven World of Warcraft editor. Main editor, complete plugin interface for several tools. Let's say. Jar, oh my god, Java application. What does Jar stand for again? Java application, oh my god. Here. It's a command line. Command line tool, interesting. Anyways, just fun stuff. Of course, we can't do that in later versions of the client because those files are going to be encrypted. So we wouldn't be able to do that. Like, that's only going to really work for one. I think it doesn't work for anything past version 2. So that only works in the 1.12 client. Like what I just did, you can't do that in any other version of WoW, I don't believe. So any version that's like 2.0 or later is basically encrypted. What characters have I explored in Turtle? You're quite undecided for the Ember launch between Rogue, Warrior, Melee Hunter. Melee Hunter is the one I play the most, and I play Paladin. So the only ones I really played in Turtle WoW is Paladin and Melee Hunter. I really haven't done much of anything else. I do think Warrior looks really cool, and I'm probably going to play a Warrior on Amber Shire. I'm probably going to play a Paladin, a Hunter, and a Rogue. I'm going to play a Rogue. And I'm going to play a Warrior. And the reason I'm going to play a Rogue is I'm super excited that I got Wreckful. Because I actually played with Wreckful once. And he's actually was a really nice guy, so I was really sad when he killed himself. And so as an homage to Wreckful, I always wanted to play with a Rogue called Wreckful. Just kind of like a tip of the hat to him, because he was a good guy. Like I was in a guild called Hey I'm MVP on the Tichondria server back in I think it was Wrath of the Lich King, and you know Wreckful was in that guild, and Venricky was in that guild, and I actually did a couple battlegrounds with those guys, and yeah, Wreckful was a good guy. He was a really nice guy, and so I always kind of wanted to grab the name Wreckful just as kind of like I said like a little bit of a tip of the hat to Byron, you know, rest in peace Byron, you know. So yeah, so I've got Wreckful. Yeah, you know what I mean? I got Wreckful. Vale's going to be my Hunter. My Paladin's Cute Faith. I'm not sure. Shy will probably be my Warrior. Like, my Warrior will probably be Shy. And then I've got Ren, Rue, I got Shady. I don't know what those are going to be. Shady's usually what I use for a Hunter, so. And River Song, if I ever do a Druid, that'd be River Song. Shady will probably, I don't know, maybe. Like, if I did a priest, it would probably be Ren or Rue would be my priest. But yeah, we'll see. you know, we'll see. But I mean, most likely, the classes I want to level the first on Ambershire is going to be probably the Rogue and the Hunter and the Paladin. Rogue, Hunter, Paladin. So, and I've actually never done a Rogue in Turtle WoW. So, let's take a look at the talent calculator really quick for the Rogue, right? So let's go Turtle WoW 1.18 talent calculator. And then we're also going to need the Vanilla WoW because we want to compare. So let's go here, let's go here, here, and Rogue, 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 Rogue. Okay, Rogue, Rogue, close. Oh yeah. So we've got the Turtle WoW talent calculator, and we've got the regular vanilla talent calculator. I'm pretty much all sub. So we're going to go opportunity, master deception, camouflage, initiative, and vanish, and set up. All right. How many points we got left? 9. And I'm trying to remember. And then we got 1 point left. I usually go with a build in vanilla, like something like this, for my rogue. It's just basically a subtly build. It leans into lethality, big eviscerates. We're trying to let our finishers give us some additional combo points so we can move right into our next rotation pretty quickly. And also we want our relentless strikes, our finishers, to give me some energy. Again, just makes transitioning from one rotation to the next a lot easier. We want an initiative to give ourselves a chance to generate additional combo points when we ambush Garrett or cheap shot. That's just really good for setting up. They call it initiative, it almost feels like setup. And then, of course, opportunity also increase the damage of a backstab growth. These just, good DPS increase, elusiveness, because we're going to use cooldowns for survivability and PvP, and heightened senses to help fight other rogues, and preparation, which is awesome, right? It's going to let us reset our cooldowns. And then, of course, Dirty Deeds reduces the enemy cost. Actually, it would be nice to get another point into Dirty Deeds, but 1, I think, is probably going to be all I really usually run with. But this is the build. This is the build. I don't know. See, I've never played a rogue in Turtle WoW. This is the build. I kind of a build. This might not be 100% what I do, but this is very similar to what I would normally do. Sometimes you can drop out of, like, maybe drop out of here if you want to go ahead and get to Dirty Deeds, right? Reduce the energy cost, which probably is going to be, good. It just depends on how much you want to be able to combat other rogues. Because if you go up against other rogues and they have 5x5 Master Deception, they're probably going to get the opener on you more often than not. So I personally don't like to be at a disadvantage that way, so I like to be 5/5. So if we look at the Turtle WoW tree, how much different is it, right? We can see one of the things interesting about the Turtle WoW tree is they put improved armor at the top tier on subtlety, which is interesting. You said subtlety is a support build. One thing about subtlety is that makes it a support build, because I did look at Rogue the other day, and I was really intrigued by this skill. Out of all the abilities in the entire Rogue tree that Turtle WoW has done differently is this ability right here called Cloaked in Shadows. Whenever you vanish, you and nearby party members within 20 yards are cloaked in shadows, gaining a barrier that absorbs up to 12% of your maximum health for 20 seconds. I mean, this is amazing. This is like so strong. Think about being in a battleground where you're trying to get a node, and like think about like you've got a healer with you, and you've got like 3 DPS, and you're trying to get Blacksmith, and the enemy team comes charging up across the bridge, right? And they come up over the bridge, and then they start to charge your healer. Like right away, you see one going after your healer. Well, right away, you can vanish, and that's going to immediately cloak you in shadows, your healer in shadows, and give your healer a little bit of protection, right? Some extra, like a bubble, like a priest bubble. So it gives you a chance to protect your team a little bit, which I think is just amazing. That's a great piece of support that they built in. So I really like that. And then the other ability they added, I think, what was it? They also have Smoke Bomb, which obviously is really good for killing people. It's also good for defense. Good for defense, good for killing, good for setting up kills, good for defense. So that's super exciting. I don't know, Noxious, try with both weapons. And then they got this other capstone talent, Noxious Assault, which is totally different than just Vigor, right? So, yeah, so the trees to me that have changed a lot for Turtle WoW 1.18, and I don't know about the Rogue versus the pre 1.18 trees. But the trees that I look at in 1.18 for Turtle Wild that are exciting to me, that I look at them, I'm like, wow, this looks really fun. This looks like it has a lot of opportunity to do a lot of builds I've never done before, are the rogue trees and the warrior tree. And I think the rogue and the warrior trees look really interesting. I haven't really looked at some of the other trees. I haven't looked at warlock. I haven't looked at druid. Mage didn't look that different to me. Priest was a little different. Priest was kind of cool, but it wasn't like crazy cool. Paladin, I thought, unfortunately, was probably one of the least. I thought Paladin was like probably almost the most lackluster. I mean, there were changes in there, but they weren't like the most amazing changes. If we go to Paladin here, I think if you look at the middle tree or the protection tree on 1.18, you've got this ability here, Righteous Defense. While Righteous Fury is active, your damage taken is reduced. So the thing that sucks about this one here is if you're creating a Protection Paladin to AoE level, like to level quickly by just killing a lot of mobs at once, which is something I do all the time when I play Paladins, this sucks because this is tied to Righteous Fury. Well, if you're just doing AoE leveling and you're not tanking dungeons, you don't need Righteous Fury. So now you're forced to put 3 points into improve Righteous Fury if you want to get a 10% damage reduction, which is amazing. Think about that. Like if I'm pulling like 6 or 7 mobs at level 40 and I'm taking 10% less damage from all of them, that's a shit ton of damage I'm not taking. I mean, that's mitigating a lot, and I mean a lot of damage. But I've got to put 3 talent points into improve Righteous Fury just to get it, which sucks. So Turtle WoW, whoever runs Turtle WoW, if you're watching this stream, which you're probably not, fucking unconnect these two. This one really annoys me. Like, these should not be connected because this ability here is really nice for every spec of the Paladin. Like, if you want to do an AoE leveling Paladin, even if you want to do a PvP, let's say I wanted to build a rep protection Paladin for PvP, right? I would probably go something like this, right? We'd go here, 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 here. The other thing they've done is they put Seal Command all the way down here, which fucks up the red prot build. Like right now, I might not even be able to do a red prot build, which obviously is they did this on purpose. There's someone at Turtle WoW that doesn't want you to build a rep protection Paladin. I don't know who, but somebody, you have to go, hey Naga, thanks man, have a good one. There's somebody who doesn't want you to build Seal Command and still have a lot of points in protection because this is too far down. So now we're going to go into here. We're going to get precision. All right. And we're going to get Hammer Justice. Now we're locked into having to get this and this. Now do we have enough points left to get Seal of Command? Because right now we've got a pretty decent protection build. Like we got some good utility. We got some good strength with Holy Shield. We got some really reduced cooldown Hammer Justice. So we're going to be able to stun pretty frequently. The Capstone Talon is bulk with the Righteous. Bash your target with a shield, dealing a bunch of damage and reducing damage you take. This is great. I mean, great for... Really nice. It'd be nice to be able to get this. How many talent points do we need? It doesn't say. This talent build doesn't say. Let's see if we can get to it. Okay, so it takes 30 points in here to get this. Now we've only got 6 left. So let's say we wanted to get Cecilia Command. Would we want to use Blessing of Kings? Probably not. So I'm not going to put a talent because we're not really going to be using that. We're not going to be two-hand. Two-hand, yeah, sure. I like Vindication quite a bit. I think Vindication's nice because it reduces the target's damage dealt by 9%, which is pretty significant. So we're going to grab that. We're going to try to get here. And look, we get it. We did get it. Okay, so this would be my ret prot build for PvP. So this is still not bad, right? It's not bad because we get the crit that we want. We get, we're going to basically have increases the melee attack power bonus of your Seal of the Crusader and the holy damage increase of your judgment. Actually, this doesn't give us crit like it does in vanilla, though. In vanilla, improved Seal of the Crusader increases the melee attack power bonus of your seal, but it actually doesn't do it in vanilla. Oh, it's a TBC. It's a TBC thing. In TBC, when you judge someone with Crusader, it increases your chance to crit that target by 3%. Basically, well, by 1% for every talent point you put. There's 3 ranks of it in TBC talent trees. So in vanilla, we don't have that, and in Turtle WoW, we don't have that. So we might not necessarily need this. So what I would do is I'd reset this tree. And if you want to go for damage, you could go improve Blessing. Increases the effectiveness of Blessing and wisdom. So if you wanted to go pure damage, like if you wanted to play like a heavier damage build, but you're going to really have some mana issues though. And personally, I wouldn't do that, but you could go into improved blessings. Now it does increase the effectiveness of blessing of wisdom, so you could open up your PvP encounter with blessing of might, and then you could switch. But the thing is, a lot of times, because I play more defensively than offensively, I might be using blessing of sanctuary. So personally, myself, I wouldn't use this because I'd probably be rolling blessing of sanctuary. Then we can go here. But now, if we want to bypass improve seal the crusader, because let's say we're going to judge a target. What is this one? Increases the threat gender. Yeah, we don't care about that. And of course, reckoning would be nice, but we don't have the talent points to get into it. We're not going to be able to get. We can't get seal of command and bulwark, which kind of sucks. If they would have seal of command back where it normally is, which I think is up here, right here, we could have gotten the. And I guarantee you that's why they moved seal of command down, is they didn't want you to get the. They did not want you to be able to go down and get bulwark of the righteousness along with seal of command, because they probably thought that was too powerful, and they're probably right. I mean, to be honest, they're probably right, but it just sucks because it would have been cool to have both. But yeah, we could go here and we could get rid of Seal the Crusader, and then we have to figure out what do we want to put our points into now. Do we want to go defense or do we want to go, I would go offense. At this point, I would go here, right? Then get conviction. Then I mean, you could go retribution, but you're not going to be in retribution aura. Like, I mean, you could, but it's, I don't know. Against a single target, I'd probably rather have the devotion aura up. Unless we had, and they don't have the one for the other aura that increases your holy damage. I think that's probably a Burning Crusade talent as well. So yeah, I still would probably go with. You could go with movement. Movement speed would be nice, but I just. Yeah. Yeah, so all we've done, we swapped the 3 points in improved Seal Crusader and we put them into improved blessings. So anyways, this would be like a build we could do for a paladin, for protection paladin, like a prot, what was called a rep prot build. And what you do with this build is you have a really good two-hand weapon, and you go and you hit these people with your two-hand weapon, try to proc some seal commands to do a lot of damage. But then if you start taking a lot of damage, like if you want to mitigate a bunch of damage, you weapon swap to your sword and shield. You weapon swap to your sword and shield, and then you throw a holy shield, and you're mitigating 10% with this ability. You're going to have Blessing of Sanctuary up, which is going to reduce damage that you take. It's also going to reflect damage back to them. You also have your redoubt, so you're hoping that your shield's going to block some of the attacks. So this is great against melee. Like this build would be really good against like rogues and warriors and stuff. But unfortunately for a rep prot against like a caster, you're pretty much fucked. Like you're pretty much screwed. But anyway, so the builds for the paladin in Turtle WoW aren't quite as flexible as they are in Project Epoch, which is a little bit unfortunate. And what's the other one we want to look at? Because I have to get to bed pretty soon. But we've looked at Hunter, we've looked at Rogue. I guess Druid. I haven't really looked at Druid in Turtle WoW. Let's take a look at the Druid. And I haven't played Druid in like a long time, so. So we've got open wounds here in the second tree of Feral, which looks like a new ability. Increases damage of Rip. In addition, increases damage of Claw. They've also moved Primal Fury. It was just here instead of down here, which is basically the same thing. It's just they put it down here. I don't know why they put it here. I guess they thought the arrow would look cooler if it was down It was down here. Or maybe you still need a certain amount of points, talent points in your build to get to this level. Whereas maybe here you don't need it to get to this level because you're already on this level. And you have this ability here, Berserk. Oh, okay. This is a really big one. Removes all fear effects, increases your energy regeneration by 100% while in cat form, and increases your total health by 20% while in bear form. Huh. So this is like a trinket for fear, though. This is really strong. You actually have the ability now as a feral druid to break out of fear. So obviously very strong for PvP. And then there's also this other ability, Ancient Brutality. Dodging attack while in bear or dire bear form imbues you with the spirit of ascension, generating so much rage per second for 5 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 9 seconds. While in cat form, periodic takes of your bleed effects restore energy. So pretty cool. And then they moved Carnage to here. Here there was Savage Fury, increase the damage caused by your claw. Here they called it Carnage. And it actually, wow, this is like a leech. Your Maul, Swipe, and Savage Bite abilities return 10% of their damage as healing to you. This is one thing I've noticed in Turtle WoW is they've added stuff that allows you to have leech, basically leeching health from the enemy to you. So when you're doing damage, you're getting some healing coming back. I have it on my melee hunter, but personally it kind of sucks. It's not very good. This one's a little better in that it's 10%, whereas on the melee hunter it's only 6%. So 10% seems like a pretty decent amount. Like if I hit somebody for 100 damage, I'm going to get 10 health. That's pretty strong, actually. This is Swift Mend. Yeah, Swift Mend. And of course, there's changes in these trees as well. I don't typically play Resto, and I don't typically play Balance. I'm just looking at the bottom. Like this one's Moonconform. They got rid of Moonconform, which personally I hate Moonconform. Oh, they still have Moonconform, just higher up. They have Eclipse, lines natural astral energy damage from Wrath is 30% to grant Arcane Eclipse, increasing arcane damage dealt. Damage from Starfire is 30% to grant Nature Eclipse, increasing nature damage dealt. The damage bonus is 10% plus 60% of your spell's critical strike chance. Each effect lasts 15 seconds. And there's also this set of Swiftmen. You've got the Tree of Life, shapeshift into the Tree of Life. While this form, armor contribution from items is increased. And so basically your typical oh shit button in arena matches where your partner's dying and you just pop into Tree of Life because your healing's going to be stronger and your armor's going to be stronger. So yeah, I think the Druid trees look pretty good. I think the Druid talent trees look, I mean, so there's some changes here that I think are pretty good. Certainly Feral's going to be quite a bit stronger. And I think Priest is pretty cool because we have Enlighten and Chastise, which we didn't have before. I think the discipline tree of the Priest on Turtle WoW looks really cool. So, but yeah, all this, yeah, no worries, man. You said for the, yeah, thanks, Aldous. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. But I think the Priest looks really cool for discipline because, like, normally you just have like, you know, your discipline tree is pretty bland. You have power infusion, mental strength. But you go into Turtle WoW and now you've got Enlighten, bring a party member under your tutelage for 30 minutes. When you cast a Discipline or Holy Spell, you have a 10% chance with helpful spells, 30% chance with harmful spells to burn them. If casting yourself, the spell damage and healing bonus is increased. Only one party member can be under your tutelage, so it's pretty cool. Resurgent Shield, when your powered shield is broken, 20% of its base mana cost is refunded, and increased damage healing done by holy spells and effects up to 10% of the shield's total absorption for 8 seconds. So these talents I think are really cool. I like these. I like Resurgent Shield. I like Enlighten. I like Chastise. We also have Searing Light your damage, which is weird because that's normally in the Holy Tree. See, it's over here. Still have inner focus, which is great. We still have blessing. Okay, we got another one, another new ability. Blessed Concentrate gives you a 100% chance to gain the focus casting of less for 6 seconds after being. So if we wanted to build like a PvP discipline priest, I think that I think it's there, man. I think we got it. We're gonna go mental agility. We're gonna go piercing light, and we're gonna go blessed concentration for powered shield. Boom, boom. Improved inner fire. Meditation. We want all of this. Creature total spell casting speed. Yes. Your holy fire has a chance to increase your holy damage. Yes. Force of will increase your spell damage and increase. Oh my god, yes. Yes. How many points we got? 17. Definitely want renew. Gives you, yes, want that. Yes. Ooh, holy reach, yeah. Holy nova. Yeah, it could be good. What are we looking at here? After being struck by a melee or ranged critical hit, heal 20% of the damage taken. Oh my god, yes. The amount healed by your healing spells is increased if the target is affected by renew. Oh, yeah. So I would go with, personally, I would probably go with something like this for a discipline priest healer for battlegrounds. Like for battlegrounds. This would make you really hard to kill. The only thing you're missing here is you don't have improved healing, which kind of sucks. And you don't have inspiration, which... So, like, this one is more of like... Yeah, I mean, it's not... You're not going to be the best healer, but you are going to be hard to kill. And you're going to... This is more of like a smite leveling build, actually. If you wanted to do more like focused on healing, I would probably drop the Force of Will out. I would grab Inspiration for sure, and I would try to get into improved healing if we could. You could drop Holy Focus, grab improved healing. Get rid of this one on reach, right? If we can. Let's see if we can. Get rid of that. Go here. Oh, no, it won't let us. We need to put 1 point into there. You could only go 2 here. You could go something like this. I don't know if you need Nova, though. I mean, no, if it heals, it depends on how strong the heal is, right? It does cause holy damage to all targets and healing. I mean, yeah, it could be. It depends on how strong it is. But I agree with you, Palix, that Holy Nova would be great if it heals, if the healing is really good. Not so much for damage. Although damage could be useful if you've got a lot of people that are low on health. Holy Nova is great. So yeah, I agree with you. So what we could do, we can't get down to it though. Let's do this. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there are some big choices to be made here because there's stuff like, for example, like spell warding. There's certain ones you would take for arena that you wouldn't take for battlegrounds. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, Palix. You are 100% right. It's been a long time since I played Priest. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Thanks for bringing that up. We definitely would want it to bring people out of stealth because you're going to see, especially like, for example, if you're like in Wrathy Basin and you're at Blacksmith, there's going to be you're going to see people come up the hill. You're going to see like rogues and druids and feral druids kind of like maybe come across the water or come across the bridge, and then you're going to see them stealth. So you know they're coming. You know they're stealth. So you can wait and you can really fuck them up if you use Holy Nova. I mean, spell warding is really good for PvP for like 2s or 3s. I can't see in battlegrounds that it's just too costly. There's too many good abilities here. I think we could probably... I like Chastise. I wish I could dump these 2 points out of here. Let's see if there's something better for battle. I'm just trying to think of a battleground build. Yeah, we don't need that. I mean, we could get rid of Inner Fire, but... Yeah, Chastise target. This one this one stuns the target for up to 2 seconds. If a target is an ally, their attack and casting speed is increased. So this is one of those cool abilities where we can use against an enemy or an ally, right? Cannot be used on allies with less than 80% health. That's interesting. It's interesting that it's got that kind of weird thing. But yeah, we could do something like, how many points we got left? 6. It would be nice to get Divine Fury, but I don't know, man. I mean, really, for a Battleground build, we've got improved Renew. We've got improved Power Shield. We're going to be doing a lot of shielding and renewing. You're going to basically be popping shield on people, popping Renew. And, your instant cast spells, you've got mental agility. Mana might be an issue with this. You're going to want improved healing. I think we might have to get rid of Blessed Recovery. And because it's probably better just to put Spiritual Guidance, increase spell damage healing by up to 10%. It'd be nice to get even more. I don't know what's going to be better. Reduce the mana cost of your less lethal heal greater hero and pure healing spells by 15%. I don't know if it almost feels like Spiritual Guidance might be better than improved healing. What's up, Daniel? Because it's like, do you want to reduce the mana cost of some of your spells, or do you want to just have your spells heal a lot more? Where's Holy Focus? I don't know. It is 2%. It is only 2 talent points. We could. What we could do? I mean, Holy Focus is pretty good. It's really only if you're getting tunneled as a healer. Like if you're getting tunneled a lot. I mean, I've played a ton of Priest, right? I played Priest. I've played thousands and thousands of arena match on Priest in my life as a WoW player, and basically you want to juke people, so you don't really want to be casting when people can interrupt you, right? So I don't really care if someone slows down my cast by like a couple, like half a second, right? Because I just want to make sure they don't interrupt my spell cast, right? So I'm not. It's like, do I really care about those times when they're hitting me, or would I rather have stronger heals? It just depends. It's really kind of touching. It's touchy there. I think it's more of a playstyle thing too. It's more of a playstyle, knowing where people are on the battleground, knowing like your positioning, knowing when you're in trouble health wise, knowing how to mitigate damage you're taking. To me, you can work around Holy Focus if you're really smart. If you're really smart and you're really good with positioning and making sure that you don't get in a situation where your health drops too low. Because let's be honest, if you die as a healer, having Holy Focus probably isn't going to really make a big difference. It's like, oh, I got off an extra heal. Most times when you get killed as a healer, it's because there's too many people hitting you, right? It's not because, oh, there's 2 guys hitting me and I didn't have Holy Focus, so I missed out on like 1 heal. That's not really the case in most cases. So I don't really think for me personally, playstyle wise, I don't think Holy Focus is a must. That's just me though. But I can see where some people would disagree with me on that. But for me personally, in my experience, it's not a must for me. I mean, it's nice. It is nice. If you're getting focused a lot, it's definitely going to be useful. But I do think there's ways to kind of work around that. And I think it's also something that, try without Holy Focus and try positioning and ranging. You want to range damage dealers as much as possible, which really just comes down to positioning. And if you're getting hit like in your face, like if you've got a rogue or warrior on you, in those situations, you're just going to keep Renew up. You're going to keep Power Shield up. And you can actually, I mean, if you're in a situation where you're getting hit by a melee, there should be somebody there to help you, right? You're not going to be a healer in a battleground trying to hold a battleground node by yourself because that's stupid. You're a healer. You need to be with your DPS. So if you're getting focused by a damage dealer, then your goal is to just stay alive long enough so that your DPS that are there with you can kill that damage dealer. So again, you're not really worried about slow casting spells in that situation. You've got Fear, you've got Renew, you've got Shield. Right? If you want, you could even pop Holy Nova. Holy Nova is going to heal you a little bit too, and it's going to do a little bit of damage to them. So you have options. You also have Chastise, which is going to stun them for 2 seconds. If you want to like stun them, give yourself a chance to get your Fear ready. Maybe get your heal off. You can juke. You also have Inner Focus. You can pop Inner Focus. All you need to do really is get off even one greater heal with Inner Focus, and you're almost topping yourself off. So there are ways to work around Holy Focus, in my opinion. Now we could get rid of Blessed Recovery, but Blessed Recovery with 25% is pretty good. If someone like it says immediately, like if someone crits me for like 100, like even like 500 damage, if I'm getting like 100 and if someone hits me for like 500 damage, how much am I going to recuperate at 20%? Let's see, a 10 would be 50, 100, and what's 5? It would be 25. So 125. So if someone hit me for like 500 damage, crit, I'm going to get 200, or 125 healing coming back. You know what I mean? So that's pretty strong. I would again, a lot of this is testing. This stuff has to be tested. I would grab that, and I would grab Swift Recovery. Right? This just means, but also Swift Recovery is more good for the people you're healing because you're not really going to always be like healing yourself. Like if I've got Renew on myself, I don't really want to be casting heals on myself. So we could bypass Swift Recovery if we wanted to, but this is more for my teammates. This is more for me getting more, more healing on my teammates because I'm going to want to keep Renew up on them. Renew is too strong. Like you're going to be stacking some spell power for sure. Like Renew works really well with spell power. So you're going to be you want to stack maybe like, half your gear you want to have intellect, maybe half your gear you want to have spell power. And that's going to make your the Swift Recovery is going to be pretty useful. But then we're looking at improved healing, which just reduces your mana cost. I think we could bypass this, right? I mean, it would be nice to have, but I don't know. It feels like spiritual guidance is so much better. But also, how much spirit are we really going to have? Again, it's tough. This is tough. Like, there's a lot of options here. Like you said, there's solely focus, there's spiritual guidance, there's improved healing, there's blessed recovery, and there's swift recovery. I think all of those are, even inspiration to a certain degree, all of those are kind of a personal preference. I think a lot of people are going to build this little section very differently. I mean, I like Holy Reach because it's going to increase our Holy Nova range and our Chastise range, which both are going to be really important for PvP. I like Inspiration, but when our crit's really low, like early on in our leveling journey, if our crit's not very high, we probably wouldn't want to spec into Inspiration just because we're not critting that much. Anyway, I don't know. This is one of those things where I would have to play a priest for probably about 3 months doing battleground stuff and just be trying out different builds and seeing what works best. Because there's too many things here that are good. We don't have Divine Spirit anymore, it looks like, so I'm not sure how much spirit we're actually going to have. So spiritual guidance may not be the best. I probably would I probably would start off with this build. Like if I was going to do like a discipline support PvP build, this would probably be what I'd start off with. But I can see me doing a lot of other builds. I can't do a shadow build right now because I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed. Because my wife gave me kind of like the lay down. She laid down the law and said that she wants me in bed by 3 a.m. and it's already 3:13 a.m. But anyways, yeah. So we're still waiting for a Project Epoch. Oh, we're still waiting for any more updates. We'll see if there's any updates today for Project Epoch. I would imagine that we probably will get some more updates sometime today. So, oh, Daniel, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I took all the energy. It took like all my energy not to eat 2 donuts, But there's still, I think, 2 donuts left. Like the little chocolate Bavarian cream-filled donuts. They go great with my coffee in the morning, so. But they don't really work on my diet, But yeah, it was damn good. So actually, I ordered some moo coffee. Like of all stay, talked me into ordering some grizzly. What is it called? Let's see, orders. I ordered some kicking horse I ordered this coffee today off Amazon. This Kicking Horse Coffee Grizzly Claw. My friend Volstay swears that this is really good coffee. You would have caved. Yeah, I only ate one, but I really wanted to eat another one. But I did. I was good. I only ate one donut. But I ordered this coffee today, and it was on sale. It was like fucking like $10, and it's like the whole bean, right? Like whole beans. So basically, I've got my coffee grinder, so I'll get this and I'll grind up some fresh whole beans, and we'll try this out. But my wife's gonna laugh at me because I just bought some Dunkin' Donuts had a sale at Publix where I got like a huge bag of Dunkin' Donuts coffee, like a $16 bag of Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and then I got the second one free. So I have two huge bags of Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the cupboard. Now I'm gonna have this bag, and I also have a bag of Bailey's Irish Cream coffee or some shit, which by the way, it totally sucks. Don't ever buy that. That shit's gonna get thrown in the garbage, I think. I found a new, like, hold on. I just found a new song on my Star Citizen. I've got a Star Citizen musical playlist, and I found a new song for Star Citizen today. Let's see what you guys think of it. It's this one. Is it ever? He's from Canada. This is my new Star Citizen soundtrack, a song that I found that I had never heard before, but I really like it. Hey Jay, what's up? Volstay's from Canada, and so obviously, apparently, like you said, it's popular in Canada. You know what's funny is I got that bag for $10. He says in Canada, he went to Amazon from Canada, and the prices were more expensive. So apparently, Canadians drink more of that coffee than people from the U.S. You know what I mean? So they're screwing you guys over because it's more popular there, I guess. They're like, well, since, supply and demand, if there's more demand, we're going to rape you over the coals price-wise. Yeah, $20, man. I'm telling you, I got it for like $10. Here, let me show you. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it for $8. $8. Volstay was pissed off, right? There you go. I got this off Amazon today for $8. Now it does say the typical price is only 10. So you're telling me that I can buy this coffee for half the price you guys Canadians pay for it? So Volstay really likes it. So I'm really curious to see how good it is. Yeah, I'm really digging this new Star Citizen soundtrack I got, or this new song that I found. Because I've got in my Star Citizen soundtrack, I've got 20 different songs. Like Star Citizen has some great music, like fantastic music. Whoever this guy is Pedro Mesita Camacho, because he's the composer for a lot of the music. He's fantastic. I mean, listen to some of these songs. This track here is really good. This is one of my favorite tracks of Star Citizen. It's probably a little. Okay. So, well, I don't know. He said it was more expensive, but maybe he was talking about the Canadian currency. I don't know. Yeah, JR. I love Star Citizen, but I just can't play it. I love ambient. Yeah, I listen to game music. Most of the music I listen to is probably game music. You know. No, I can't listen to that. Sorry. No thanks. My favorite music from games is Skyrim, Star Citizen, and Lineage. Lineage has some amazing music. And Lineage, you know, there's so many different Lineage games that there's been tons of soundtracks. I mean, World of Warcraft has some great music, right? I have a couple soundtracks for World of Warcraft that are really good, you know. This one here. This one here is really good. The Honoron Plains from Dragonflight. And then The Walking Shores is also really good. Yeah, that's a good one. Warlord's Draenor? It's a little tinny on the top end, kind of grating on my ears. I want to listen to music that doesn't hurt my ears, and this is a little bit on the high end. And see here where it peaks, it's too loud. See how loud it gets here? It's too loud. So I want stuff that like plays in the background that's not really loud, because it may sound good a couple times you hear it, but I don't want it to be too loud. So that's why Star Citizen is great. It sits in the background. The Skyrim also is fantastic, and it also Elder Scrolls Online has some good stuff, right? If you go to, I've got tons of different playlists. You know, this is an amazing song, right? I got most of my names reserved. I hit on about 8 out of 10. There were 2 I didn't get, right? Like if I go to, I'm supposed to be in bed right now. My wife's going to get mad. But I'll show you the names real quick. So here's my names. I wanted to get Wreckful for my rogue because, like I said, I talked about this already, but I always kind of liked Wreckful. I thought he was a good guy, and I was really sad when he killed himself. And I actually played with Wreckful a couple times in some battlegrounds back on the guild. Hey, I'm MVP on the server Tichondrius back, you know, a long time ago. And he was a really nice guy then. So I wanted to get Wreckful. That's kind of a nod. It's a nod to Byron. Yeah. Yeah, I played with Wreckful only a couple times. He was in the same guild as me, like, hey, I'm MVP back on Tichondrius. I didn't know him personally, but see, him and Venruki would do battlegrounds a lot, and so there were a couple times when they just said in guild chat, does anybody want to run battlegrounds? So I ran battlegrounds with Venruki and Wreckful a couple times. And they were both nice, especially Venruki. Like Wreckful was more often not, you know, more kind of in his own world a little bit, maybe talking to people in voice chat or whatever. But Venruki was like more like in the guild chat, I could ask him questions about mages, and he was very responsive. Whereas I think Wreckful was just off, you know, hanging out with his friends and stuff, so he wasn't as active in the guild chat. But Venruki was really nice, a very nice person. But I got Shy. I got Vea, which I use for my hunter usually. I got Shy, which will probably be my warrior. I got Ren, which I like, and Rue I like. I got Shady, which I've never had Shady before, so that was kind of cool. Because I have, you know, I have a lot of characters called like Shady Moon, Shady Hax, Shady, you know, Shady Heart, you know, Shady Peasant. You know, I use Shady as kind of like it's just the beginning of a name. That way I can get names that aren't commonly used. But I've never had every shoe just had Shady. But so yeah, I mean, The only names I didn't get that I wanted was River. I wanted River. I couldn't get it. I wanted Faith for my priest. I couldn't get that, of course. Faith always goes super fast. And then there was one other name. I actually had a text document I put together of like the names I wanted. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I want to check something. Yeah, so I didn't get Faith, I didn't get River, and there was one other name that I was trying to get, and it was Cute. I want to just get Cute for my Paladin. So Cute, Faith, River. Those are the three I didn't get, but all the other ones I wanted to get, I got. So you lay down at 420. Yeah, I got to get to bed. I got to go. But these are the characters I got. I got River Song for my Druid, Cute Face my Paladin. Shady Moon's typically my Hunter. Shady, I don't know what we're going to do with Shady. Shady might be my Warrior. Shy might be like if I do, I don't know. I'm not sure. Obviously, Reckful's my Rogue. Vale's my Hunter. Ren, don't know. Rue, don't know. But I got most of the names I wanted, so I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy with that. So I'll catch you guys later, man. Have a good one. Peace out. I'm out of here.